This pin, as anybody who knows me, is with me every day that I put on a jacket or a suit. When I went on the Senate floor, most of my colleagues had little buttons saying they're in the Senate or they're in the House. I said, the heck with it. I'm from Missouri. I want people to know I'm from Missouri when I'm on the floor. And I found people ask me when I'm in another city about the Hawthorn Foundation, why the pin. It gives me an opportunity for a sales pitch.
Thank you all for your service, and governors, thank you all for coming. This is a very important event, very special to the Hawthorn Foundation, and we really appreciate this. And let's start at the beginning. Senator Bond, can you share with us some of the significant issues you faced in economic development and some of the reasons why you thought it was important to start the Hawthorn Foundation?
Well, Mike, thanks very much to you, and thanks to all of our guests who are here to support it. When I went in as governor, I think my former staffer Warren Erden was pointing out to me that business development was handled through the Department of Consumer Affairs, Regulation, and Licensing. You talk about a downer when you went in to tell somebody you wanted to bring them to Missouri, but even worse, there was no statewide effort. And we had Kansas City fighting St. Louis and St. Louis fighting Kansas City. Springfield and Columbia were at odds. The outstate area was fighting the cities. We needed a joint effort, and when the utilities helped bring everybody together, when the banks became statewide, it helped a great deal. But Hawthorn got us focused as a state with the leaders you see around here who would come together as a group to promote Missouri.
One of the trips that I thought ended up pretty productive was time we went to Japan with the St. Louis Symphony. And I remember taking Mr. Oba, I believe he was the chairman of Kawasaki Heavy Industries, into the symphony meeting. And I'm sure he had very many good reasons to come to Missouri, but subsequent to that time, and I believe influenced by that time, Kawasaki opened the plant in Maryville, and I checked on that. That's about 800 workers now, and most of the small engines made for the top line of lawn care and for customer use in this country made there. And the tangibility of the outcomes of the trips that we took to promote Missouri, whether it's the FAG bearing plant in Joplin or the litany, the bioagri plants in southeast Missouri, all of these things were a consequence of the excellent cooperation with Hawthorn.
You know, I became governor, I knew there were a number of things I wanted to do in terms of legislative changes that I thought would make Missouri a better place to create jobs. I knew we needed a talented person to run the Department of Economic Development. I was proud to find that and pleased to find that in Greg Steinhoff, who did a magnificent job. But we saw in other states there was a real focus, not a lot of states, but a real focus at the time at least, on public-private partnerships in economic development, where states would outsource part of their economic development or they would combine with an entity. And that really gave us, I think, some of the ideas of how the Missouri Partnership would be structured, where you'd have an entity that would be sustained by the department, but also by an outside force. And obviously Hawthorn was the natural partner as we thought about how you could make the Missouri Partnership a success. And it has been a success. And I think it's, in a lot of ways, continued to grow and become even more vibrant. It is an entity that works all across the state, community small and large, and I think has Missouri really at or very close to the cutting edge, frankly, in terms of public-private partnership when it comes to economic development and having a really professional and long-term recruitment team out there looking for these opportunities and bringing them to our state.
we live in a real world economy, and unless we're projecting ourselves that way, we're not going to compete. And so, as you've seen from everybody here, a constant theme of the economy of the world is changing. Things that we saw a couple years ago, Greece had a credit problem, and we lost $1 trillion worth of value in 401ks in this country in less than a week. So on our front, we've done a couple things. Try to stand on the shoulders of great leaders like the folks that are here and present ourselves internationally in a very specific way. I'll be in that Kawasaki plant next week, General Ashcroft, and very much appreciate the oboe player and you that helped deliver it to the Show Me State. Well, I mean, it's extremely important. I think one of the things that's important is the personal touch in those settings by a chief executive really makes a difference.
What's interesting about what Governor Nixon said is we're not only talking about looking about the countries we typically are always on our radar screen, but we're looking for new countries and new areas around the world to establish that relationship. Lori and I just got in about 3 o'clock this morning from Cuba with Troy Nash. That is going to be a tremendous opportunity for somebody in the next year, 2 years, and 5 years. I want us in the Midwest to be the leader in these type of activities, and what Governor Nixon's talking about is trying to figure out where those strategies should be and how we should get there so we can be first in line, not last in line for job creation.
Well, in a formal way, first of all, let me once again thank everybody here for your generosity for the Hawthorn Foundation, which, as you've seen from this panel, is vitally important to continuing energy forward. Let me also thank these great leaders. Everybody has sat in the job that I'm in now, that's sitting up here, and we all know how difficult it is some days, but how rewarding it is ultimately, and how you get to actually do things that make a real difference. And the fact that we could put together these folks shows how important this is, because it's hard to get everybody here together, and to have them here today shows thank you to you all, but most importantly, thank you to the other governors that took time out of their very busy schedules to join with us today to once again show that when it comes to economic development, when it comes to presenting the state of Missouri, it has nothing to do with whether things are that divide us. It's about how do we work together to move this state forward. So thank you on behalf of my job now, but most importantly, thank you on behalf of the 6 million Missourians that we all represent and love so dearly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hey, thanks very much for doing this.